What's up, people? I got a kind of interesting vlog today. So I had some cows, a lot of cows visit me earlier. None of them shit around me, right? There was probably 30 cows, just like they were nuzzling my car too. It was cute. Like they were close, and I explored, and not one of them left a dookie. They're nice. I would like talk to the cows in a sweet voice, and they would like nod their head and walk at me. Man, it's so sad. They're food. Yeah, I love cows, but they're just like, people raise them for beef, man. Sad. But anyway, yeah, I have a video of the cow, like, of me talking at him and the cow, like, saying hi back, but I can't show it because it's got the mountains. So it's kind of unfortunate. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Something interesting that I can't remember. Um, Gosh. Can't remember what it is. Yeah, I had an old, this is another story. This isn't what I wanted to talk about. Maybe this will jar my memory. Yeah, I was a little worried because I'm like, I'm waiting out the statute of limitations on like this landlord gave me a fraudulent claim for damages, and super sus, like really like shitty shark shit, right? And I I'm basically just gonna ignore it because my income isn't garnishable. I don't have any income they could take, and if I wanted to discharge the debt in a bankruptcy, then I would be able to do it in a Chapter 7, and I wouldn't lose any assets. I don't use credit anyway, and the debt would disappear. So, yeah. So, whatever. I'd rather not do that. But yeah, I'm waiting out the clock on that. But I am kind of happy that it's like approaching the end of their time. They have 6 months left. Yeah, they have like almost exactly 6 months left. And if they don't do it soon, it's just going to drop off. So I hope it does. Hope they give up, because it is like the only reason you would do like damages is if you think you could get something. But if my account isn't garnishable, right, my income source is protected, and if I could do a bankruptcy to discharge it, which I could, then I wouldn't end up paying it. Really, it's like I don't apply for loans or credit cards. So I mean, like, if my credit score fell a few hundred points, I wouldn't mind. I would be pretty okay with it. I could even be shady. I won't, but I could, like, if I'm gonna do a bankruptcy, I could totally go get a car, and as long as the equity is under 25,000, and discharge the debt on the car. So yeah, my income, it's super generous in my situation that my income doesn't count toward means. Like, if you share it, it counts as a zero, right? Even if it is money, it's like that money can't be touched, right? So that my income counts as zero. So when it comes to any bankruptcy, it's like get away free. I've always paid my debts. I was a landlord before. I always gave my security deposits back. I rented out the other rooms in the house I was in, and I paid the most because I had the biggest room in my own bathroom, and everyone else paid less. They had a good deal. Yeah, they had their own bathroom and their own space, and I was way cheaper than everyone else in town. I gave people a better deal than I've ever gotten from anybody. So yeah, but I have a cute video of this cow, like, hey cow, and it like, it like, its ears flop and it walks toward you, and I was like, man, I love cows. They're so nice. They're kind of gross. Oh yeah, this was funny. There was one cow. All the cows were clean, but there was this one cow with shit completely covering his ass. And this other cow later walks up with poop on his head. I was like, what? That shit's so funny. Yeah, no, this cow was covered in shit. The whole backside, like he was just like spray diarrhea cow. Nasty, right? And then this other cow had poop right on his forehead, like he got shit on. That had to have been a scene. It comes up the smell of it, spray shit everywhere. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I can't show you the cow video because you sleuths would know where I am. Yeah, I just get doxxed. You know, I got people who watch my stuff who like don't tell anyone. They just like will show up mad. So yeah, I don't know if they'll show up mad. I've never had anyone try to hurt me or threaten me, but I had this one native dude throw a jar of mayonnaise at me, but he missed. Um, but yeah, I've had people like, I show like a picture. This one girl asked me out. This is exactly what I was talking about, the fake damages and the lease thing and all that stuff. Is I was at an apartment and I showed a video from my front door. Within a couple days, they're like, hey, we got a new property manager coming in. And she had like all these like professional like things, and she asked me to lunch literally, and I said no. And then she's like putting stickers on my car to have it towed. This really happened. And all this shit. So she gives me a termination of lease notice, and I just leave that night, right? That night I had called someone new. I had a new apartment. I was completely moved out. I was in a new apartment the next day, right? And while I was gone, they sued me and got a default judgment by not telling me. They have my number and they have my email address, and they didn't bother calling me at all. They just didn't tell me, right? And the judge gave them a default judgment. Well, suddenly my bank account, which always had like a code for my payments, suddenly it says like, VA on it. And I was like, when did that happen? Well, that happened when they got the garnishment letter to go fucking raid my bank. And the bank said no, so I appreciate that. Yeah. No, it sucks. Yeah. I definitely got doxxed. I showed a video of my front door from, a flood, and someone figured out where I was. They recognized it, and they pretended to be a property manager and got a job there. And if I was more like, I'm mad about circumcision, right? If I was more in favor of the law, yeah, I probably could have sued him and won and like got a huge settlement in my case. But I'm like, I don't care about that. But it is like annoying, right? It definitely is like, some people may call me a coward to go battle them with the judge, but I'm pretty mad at the law. It's like the circumcision and the slavery. It's just so many problems are caused by unfair laws, and then people who like follow them exactly or use them to hurt people, in my opinion, suck. Right? In my opinion, they're absolutely not good people. So I saw a great video the other day of a army veteran fighting a cop and totally balling him up. Yeah. Cops don't have anything on soldiers. Soldier strength, it's a whole other level. Soldier strength and soldier speed, no cop can touch it. Maybe someone who trains privately would be able to go on par, but basically, yeah, a soldier like me would be a devastating monster to face. Soldiers like me are so strong and so capable that our situation is to avoid fights. Is that it's basically like, it's seen as bad form for a soldier to put it down, right? Unless he's doing it against like a much stronger party, and then it's more like balanced. But at least visibly stronger. But anyway, yeah, what was it I wanted to talk about? It was something. But yeah, I got a waiting game. They haven't contacted me in about a year, my old apartment, and so I'm just waiting for that statute of limitations to expire. If they do end up taking me to court, they probably won't tell me again, and they'll probably try to get a default. So again, but I'm probably going to be able to get out of it. So Annoying. Super annoying. Yeah, that was an evil woman pretending to be a property manager. There were other people writing reviews on it, giving her name, going, she's not the law. She acts like she runs the town. Yeah, there were people hating on her publicly on like Google reviews and stuff, dropping her name. Yeah, I hate that bitch. So it's unfortunate. It's definitely like, gives me the heebie jeebies. But yeah, people are evil, man. They were charging me for stuff that weren't even a problem, like things that weren't even there. Just endless evil. So yeah, I'm not gonna pay them shit. So, but yeah, waiting for those 2 years to expire is definitely a little intense. I usually don't think about it, but I just started thinking about it recently because, like, I usually probably think about it like maybe once a month, and I'll check like all the court pages and stuff to see if my name pops up, and it doesn't. So, um, yeah, I assume they're just not going to. Yeah, it's so dodgy that you can like take someone to court and win on a default without even calling them or sending them an email. You can't even prove you emailed them, right? We were talking on email, and then as soon as you got the I to be all legal, the email stopped. Go freaking like submarine silent. Strike when they're not looking. This shit's like, oh, okay. That shit's actually what pushed me into stamping money. I had been writing on money already. I would get like $100 in ones, and I would write messages on them, and then I would like go around town and leave them places. Um, and it was that running with the law, right? The law getting a judgment on me without telling me. I was like, oh, fuck you. And so I got my messages into stamps, official stamps, and then I've been stamping money ever since. And in that town, I coded the whole area. Everywhere I left money, basically. Uh, I didn't call out the people I was mad at directly, but I did like point at the secret government and call people the slaves of pedophiles, which proved true. I was saying it before it was like really widely known. So yeah, I hope these like the next year goes by and there's no word on the law and I don't have to pay them anything. Fuck them. So yeah, being judgment proof helps. So yeah, yeah, I was researching it. It is like my income type is not considered income that can settle legal matters, so they actually can't garnish it at all. So it's like nice. Yep. Annoying though. I hate thinking about it. Like some like fucking enemies behind the scenes making moves against me where I can't see them. Shit pisses me off. These are the people who eat cows, right? These cows. One of the things I was thinking of is they have no idea their food, right? It's like I remember them looking at me like kind of friendly, kind of standoffish. They'd never met me before, but they're obviously really nice. And I'm like, most of them are clean. And but they would stare at me with like confusion and like read them as like, do you know what's gonna happen to you? Do you know who you really are? And it would be like this like uncomfortable fear, but not like they can't place it. They're like, okay, my life is just because they hide it, right? The place where they're slaughtered is hidden from cows. Cows aren't allowed to look there. And so it's that parallel that's like, all right, the cow thinks it's free, but it's for food, and it doesn't know it because they don't tell it. And it's that parallel. I'm like, how does that apply to me? So it definitely has me like, oh, I wish every day I could find like true love and have a family and all that stuff, but I just can't. I don't trust the place. I don't trust Earth. I don't trust the government at all. So yeah, it's pretty sad. But yeah. Anyway, my headlamp broke, so I freaking burned it yesterday and got a replacement. I took a nap, but it got hot. It was supposed to be cloudy all day, man. They were saying rain tomorrow and snow the next day. And I don't know if that's going to happen at all. The good news is that that weather forecast kept all the crowds away. No one's been up here. Usually there's a few people up every day, and this day it's been empty. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that legal shit, I don't feel like paying them anything. Yeah, they say if you're judgment proof, the best thing to do is just not pay them. So, yeah. Evil. Pure evil. Yeah, I wouldn't have had a problem if I didn't show that video from my front door of like across streets, right? Because the flooding was really bad. If I hadn't done that, it was on this channel, I think, or maybe it was on TikTok. If I hadn't done that, she would have never shown up. I'd probably have lived there a whole year. Nothing would have happened, but it was because that happened. And it's like, it just sucks. It's like, some people are so fucking haters, right? So yeah, I'd rather just live alone until I die. It's just way better. I didn't want to be a hermit. I wanted to have like a big friend group and matter and have like a nice life, but it's just so much is off about this place. The circumcision combined with the belief in private property, no looking or going where you're not allowed. And that's just like, they make you think it's for your stuff, but honest to God, it's for the government. So the government doesn't get caught. And it's like, I just don't trust this planet. I just don't. I wish it was time to have. I mean, I used to love my parents, and more, I just like, I feel resentment toward them. Like, you couldn't figure this out before you had me. Why'd you circumcise me? Like, all the time I deal with idiots, like, through social media who circumcise their kids, and it's like, they like volunteer their kid to be circumcised and then like cry with them, right? Oh, poor baby. They like just want them to get over it, right? And it just is kind of like, it's like being a cow. Yeah, all these cows are branded. They all have a raised part of their skin where they got stuck, right? And yeah, it's like branding a cow. Yeah, I was looking at their udders and I was like, those udders have a fleshy cover on it you wouldn't cut off. How dare you, you fucking bastards. Oh, we're preventing disease. And that's the thing I hate about the bloodstained men. Absolutely. They always, people around the circumcision subject are like, circumcision was invented for hygiene. That's it. Right. And they say it like they're anti. And I'm like, circumcision was invented so they could get virgin girlfriends. Who's ever going to hear that? Yeah, they're super fake. The internet's fake too. The internet's so fake. It's suspicious that Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish, so he believes in circumcising baby boys. And Facebook sucks ass. I don't know if you've used Facebook before. It's bad. It's not a great service. But for some reason, he's a billionaire? Make it make sense. They always go like, well, he's a billionaire because he's chosen by God. And I go, no. He circumcises baby boys and it's a conspiracy. Right? Just like these cows are food. I can't tell. I tried. I was like, you're going to be a steak later. I was like, it's you. Right. And they just like, didn't mean anything to them. But I was like, yeah, it's exactly that. How I like say the real government likes girls and it's just crickets and no one says anything. To me, if they could hear it and believed it instantly, it might mean it's not true. But it's the fact that they can't believe it at all and they can't hear it at all. That means it's probably guaranteed. So yeah, it sucks. So yeah, one of the reasons I'm a good messenger of this shit is due to like my life and my injuries. I don't um feel like I'm really susceptible to things like torture. I'm just like numb, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely feel like I can be a messenger of this without risking much. Um, I don't know, like, here's one of the things oh yeah, this was funny, right? I was supposed to leave today. The chemtrails came back, right? I was supposed to leave today and go to a whole other site, and they were watching me so much. This is the first day the chemtrails were back, and they stopped, right? After they realized I was here, they quit. So they had moved the chemtrail area around where I would be so I wouldn't see them, and then they came back the moment I was here. So it's like, yeah, the chemtrails are definitely like public AO poison. Something to suppress our natural abilities or something to make us like pliable and calm. That's the thing about hitting the pleasure and calm button too much. It just goes numb. It won't feel anything after a while. So, yeah, I don't trust the government at all. They lied about God to circumcise you. Never saying it online does anyone acknowledge it. Nobody ever agrees with me or says I'm right, even though it's obvious, right? So it's definitely suspicious as hell. So yeah, it's bad news. It's bad fucking news. But yeah, I wish I had a nice fucking life. I do. That was kind of like the thing though, is like most of the suffering was wishing I had a nice life as a kid. And then as I grew up, um, I saw that when I gave up hoping for a nice life, that's when it got a little better. When I accepted the bad. Yeah, acceptance is an interesting idea. Acceptance doesn't mean you like it. Acceptance means you acknowledge it as a reality. So, um, you're not denying it or hoping for something else. You're accepting it. Like, yes, I'm circumcised. No, I can't trust the government. Yes, we live in hell. Right? And that's definitely just a reality. It's just a fucking reality. So it sucks. I definitely don't like it. Hope it reflects in my art. You know, hopefully I don't like get erased by history and at least like all the work I did on all my accounts, because I made a lot of accounts and I like hid some where I like obfuscated it was one of my art pages and I just like did it in secret. Hopefully they like leave some of them and don't erase most of them. But yeah, I mean, fucking TikTok is so fake. Like, rarely, once in a rare moon does one of my old YouTube videos get any attention. But it happens sometimes, where like, sometimes a video from years ago will get a comment, but it's like really rare. Um, and TikTok never, once the account is, it's like the results on TikTok are just what you pay for. You don't get it, and it's just so fake. It's just so fake. It's a bunch of liars. It is. The society is a lie from the ground up, and so everyone who participates is a liar. And most people surviving are barnacles. Myself included. I'm also a barnacle, but um, for the most part, it's like barnacles and slaves and slavers. People who learned how to survive by playing some middle territory. Like being a soldier is a great survival mechanism because the government wants you to be a soldier. The government desperately wants soldiers. And so it can't treat the soldiers bad or the soldiers will rebel. They'll lose power. You won't be able to send soldiers on difficult and deadly missions if you abandon the ones you injure, so you have to keep them supplied. So I'm like lucky there. But yeah, I knew a lot of secrets I'll take to my grave because they're just not worth telling, right? It's like they're I saw how they were practical and meaningful and meant well, and so I'll never share it. But like the thing I heard about, like the real government likes girls and they're pedophiles. If they didn't circumcise baby boys, I wouldn't believe it, but they do. So to me, it's super suspicious. Is like you cut the flesh off baby cocks. So if you would do that to a baby, what else would you do? And the answer is be a pedophile. So that's why I'm deeply in the favor of the belief that they are pedophiles. Like it's a fact. So I haven't followed in their shoes, obviously. In my morality, I have no problem with you hanging out with someone who wants to hang out with you, right? They volunteer their time with you. They like you. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me like that. But what we're talking about is like really bad crimes on people, way different. So yeah, I don't support that at all. So it's sad. But yeah, that's my life right now. Just basically like I'm kind of am in a weird duality where I have infinite time to relax and great beautiful sights and views. But I have a lot of stress, like the government, my own body, and past fucking predators trying to ensnare me in legal BS. So yeah, it's definitely bad. So no, I used to like a part of me is like I wish I had, like done the deed to myself, like in my closet with a belt. When I was a kid, I used to think about it. And I always like didn't, or I was kind of afraid. And parts of me have been like, sometimes I think, man, if only I had invested $10,000 in Bitcoin when it first came out, that would be amazing. Or, man, if only I'd had the courage to cut this shit off earlier, I wouldn't have to. I mean, what's 10 minutes of suffering versus 80 years of suffering? It's really like, I blame the creator. I think he's a jerk. I do. Like, it's unfathomable to me that you're like, yeah, your bodies can be hurt, and I'm going to give you a bunch of knives, right? Go fight over the same stuff now. It's really like, thanks, dude. So I'm really like ungrateful toward the creator for the way they made everything. It just kind of sucks. Not a lot of sunshine and a lot of pain. So yeah, that winners and losers thing seems to be ultimate, right? It's like, were you born in the nice? Some people were born with perfect bodies and harems and infinite drugs that aren't poison, and they can just get as high as they want and have sex all day and never have to worry. And other people are circumcised and tortured, and they have to do homework, right? No, they give you a pass as a kid, but it's totally true. The school is obedience training. You're going to sit. You're not going to talk. You're going to listen. That's obedience training. They make you obey, right? And then they give you schoolwork and homework to break you, to make you a slave, right? So it is like, it was funny when I was a kid, before I went to school, I asked an older kid, "What's being in school like?" And he's like, "Big old fat people sit on sleds and then whip you to make you pull them." And I was like, holy shit, that's school. And when I first went, I thought they were lying to me. But as I got older, I was like, oh, they told me the truth. They told me the absolute truth, that school is actually fucking bad. Um, and it's just the way it is. So, yeah, it's the government. They want total domination with no risk from their slaves. And that's kind of why we get so much teaching on forgiveness and letting go, and so much suppression and all that. It's like a group of people who are going to win and brutalize you, and they're never going to admit they're wrong because they're greedy. And it's quite the impasse. And it's exactly like that fucking bitch I met at the place. Yeah, she was evil as fuck. Evil as fuck. So, fortunately, people seem to have been caught. Yeah, when they sent me a letter demanding money, I looked up the lawyer, and he had just won a court case the day before he wrote the letter. So I tried to intimidate him away from it by being like, I'm judgment proof, and if you did win a judgment, I would discharge it in bankruptcy. So, which I would, I would absolutely slick that shit off if I could. And yeah, bankruptcy is easy. Anyway, so yeah, I think he's going to give up, but it was like he didn't bother writing me until the day after he won a court case. He won a court case for $4,000. And the very next day, he writes me a letter. I know what happened is he was sitting on it, and then he's like, maybe I'll get something. Let's send him a letter. Maybe I'll get something. And it was like, yeah, you didn't get shit. No, they can sell debt. You know that, right? If you owe somebody money and the person who has the debt doesn't feel like doing anything to collect it, they can pass the debt to someone else to collect. And the person will like pay the original people a fee to take it, so that it's like, oh, you want $10,000? Here's 200, you know, and then that's your payout. And then the other person has the debt and they can officially try to collect. It's kind of shit. But yeah. No, money printed at debt and taxed is a slave hoax. You know, it's like if the government thinks defraud. The word defraud means to unfraud, right? But they use defraud for fraud because the government are frauds, and anybody who tricks anybody is pointing out that the government are frauds, right? They're frauds in the sense that you voted for them, you have to obey them. They're doing this fair, right, in a way that the best way to be done, right? There's a number of frauds of the government that they're just lying to you, right? They're not fair. It's not in your best interest. They don't care about you, right? You don't have to agree. That's the other thing, is that they teach you that the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights gives you rights. And the reality is that they want you to agree to do what it says. That's the trick, is, oh, we gave you all this stuff, though, so all you have to do is do the rest of it. And that's where they trap you. So it is like, it's like dealing with a hunter, right? These cows wander around in the fenced area grazing. You know, they're ruminants. They look for fresh grass to eat, and they can't leave, right? And that's the trick. You don't have to put a collar on them and chain them to a post. You just have to make it so they can't run away, which is exactly no looking in private property. Obey the laws, please. That's it. Once you're obeying laws, you're a slave, you know. And it's not like they're well-meaning, like, oh, but we prevent murder. Not really, you know. Kinda. So, yeah, it sucks. I am smart because I knew what time it was. A lot of people don't know what time it is. A lot of people think they know and they don't. So, but anyway, I'm going to grab my shovel and my flashlight, and I'm going to go make a little bit of a, you like that? Magnets on the bottom so I can store it on the roof. Shit's awesome. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go. Thanks for watching.